Welcome to Pathways to Success, a program that supports our micro, small, and medium enterprises here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Mai Rodriguez. A lasting timepiece not only serves to tell time, but also mark important milestones, reflect individual style, and can even be passed on as a family heirloom. A well-crafted watch is truly a meaningful accessory for anyone. Today is the second part of our feature on Philippine-made watches. We will look at the brand Makina, and joining us is its operations manager, Justin Castillo. Good morning, Justin. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right, let's talk about Makina. You were established in 2017, am I correct? So please share with us how the business started.
So in 2016, Danilo, he's actually the brain behind the operation. He took a sabbatical, and he gave himself 1 year to establish the supply chain and a few designs. And then in 2017, with the help of Esquire and Monochrome, they launched Makina. And it was kind of one of those things where they didn't want to talk about themselves, rather have other people talk about them. So and that's kind of how it started there.
You're cousins
Yes.
with the owner, Danilo Villanueva.
Yes.
Tell us about his vision for the brand.
Well, Makina is in what we call in the movement in the timepiece, right? It also means engine. So at the start of it, we kind of used the propeller as a influence a little bit, but we didn't want to stay there. Because then it really limits what we can create, and part of it was being totally original and quality.
Yeah, you're known for eccentric designs and also unconventional designs.
Right.
Tell us about your early collaboration with Danilo.
So I'm just strictly in operations. The design is purely Danilo and his team.
Yeah. What was the first thing,
Sure.
though, that he did to start the business?
What was the first thing? Well, it's really pen to paper. How him and his team, they have a meeting. They meet all the time, and then I don't really know what he's thinking about each time. I don't know what captures his mind at that particular moment, because sometimes he'll start one project, maybe he'll transition to another project. And now that we have the commissioned timepieces, it's
Okay.
yeah.
Did he also start as a collector, a watch collector?
Yes, absolutely. It's a family business, and he was obsessed with watches, and the rest of us are also really into watches as well. And what better? There's no need for another watch brand. Actually, there's plenty.
Yeah.
But we should start something that we're obsessed about, which was watches.
And make Filipino-made or Philippine-made watches. Back then, what did you know about the Philippine watch industry?
Well, we got to go back a little bit on that. Actually, Filipinos are mostly known for their quality of service. We don't really have many products out there yet, right? So the idea was to bring the world a quality product, which we thought was a timepiece.
Yeah. But what was the demand for watchmakers in the Philippines?
Because we don't want to be stuck in like a diver's watch or a dress watch or a field watch. So what really came to mind was what can be original. Because each time we come up with a watch, we only make a limited quantity, about 300. It never gets reproduced the same again.
Okay, so limited timepieces.
Yes.
Okay, tell us again the story behind the name Makina.
So Makina is, we wanted it to be masculine and Filipino. Makina being what we call the movement in the timepiece, and it's also engine. So like I said earlier, Mephisto was one model that we had originally, and it was modeled after the Warthog propeller engine. But again, we didn't want to stay in that niche because then we're really limited. is to what other, as you can see in our models here. Right.
Okay, we will talk about the designs in a bit, but tell us first, where are these watches assembled? Are all these locally made, and are you working also with foreign manufacturers?
Yes, it's 100% assembled here. 50% of the materials are manufactured here, and the movements are manufactured in Switzerland and Japan. But ultimately, it's assembled here.
Okay, let's delve into the company's philosophies, into the design, into watchmaking. What are the company's philosophies when it comes to those things?
Well, when it comes to the philosophy, it was trying to be purely original. We don't want to be just a mainstream watch. We wanted to set ourselves apart from other brands. We don't want to be Swatch or other companies. We want to be original, which is why we only make 300 each time. And then we also have opened our doors to make custom watches with other organizations.
Of course, being original is one thing. You have to have your own look. Right? Not another Swatch, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay, take us through the process then, from the design, from concept first to design to manufacturing.
So concept, that's purely Danilo, right? He has to design it with his team first. Once that's put together on paper, then operations will start to put together the rest of the pieces that come together to assemble the watch. Right, and my job is to make sure it comes in on time.
Yeah.
Right, it comes in on time, it's assembled on time, and is delivered on time. Because actually, when we first started, Esquire launched us 2 weeks too early. Our website wasn't even up; it was only about halfway done. What ended up happening was there were a lot of emails and questions about how to get this watch, where to get it, right? And then we got the website, the e-commerce part done. And we were able to cover the orders on the second day. So it ended up being a good thing, but we weren't exactly ready at the beginning.
But you had to meet that demand.
Yes.
Okay.
We really had to rush.
Yeah. Okay, we have to take a short break. When we return, we will discuss more about the products and milestones of Makina watches. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Pathways to Success. We are putting the spotlight on Makina watches, and still with us, Operations Manager Justin Castillo. Now, Justin, you have a wide range of designs, but let's start with your flagship collection. What inspired it?
Right, so actually what inspired it was it needed to be engines in mind, machines in mind, and it wanted to be masculine. But if we did that, it kind of keeps us limited. So it really needed to be original ideas with masculine machines in mind. With regards to how we came up with the names for it, yes, they are named Angels and Demons, but it's really just in the naming convention of the watches. So we just wanted something unique.
And catchy, I bet.
Right, and,
Yeah.
it's like it just kind of fits well wearing a Uriel watch or a Gag.
Tell us about your best sellers.
Uriel is actually our best seller, and we have many iterations of that. And like I said, since it's limited quantity, not every Uriel watch will be the same after each iteration. The next one would be Andras. Actually, that one we submitted for the International Design Awards, and it won gold. So that's pretty, that's
Very
pretty priceless.
impressive. Okay, but you are more known for custom-made watches. Who's your target market for this?
So our watches are commissioned by the Philippine National Committee. We were very happy that we were able to work with them on this custom timepiece. Other ones would be, University of Philippines College of Medicine and the San Beda College of Law. But after one was commissioned, it kind of just spiraled into other organizations reaching out to us to make custom watches with them.
Yeah, custom watches mostly for big organizations, but can somebody order just a single custom-made watch?
Well, when it comes, we need at least 100.
Oh, for bulk orders. This is for bulk orders.
For custom watches, right? But yes, of course, you can order one of our watches, our original designs, yes.
You mentioned the many awards of Makina watches. Can you share with us more about the milestones of the business?
Yeah, it started out with, we were featured in many articles, both worldwide and in the Philippines. Monochrome, Esquire, and they were talking about us, which was great. And then after that, we were commissioned to do custom watches, right? And then we submitted Andras, one of our originals, for the awards. And then we also have some watches on teleseries.
Oh.
Piolo Pascual is wearing it. It's not just for the product placement, but it's actually part of the plot. And I think pretty soon we'll be in a movie as well.
This is for Philippine television.
Yes.
Okay. But one of the biggest milestone is a commissioned watch for our Olympians, for the Paris Olympics.
Yes, it was. And
Yeah. How did that come about?
It had to happen quite quick, actually. After talking about it with the committee, we ended up, we had to make 100 watches to commemorate the 100 years the Philippines have participated in the Olympic Games. And we also had to make it colorful, right? To symbolize all the continents coming together every 4 years to compete. And even in the engraving, it would show the 100 years that we've been a part of the.
And Danilo was solely behind the design?
Him and his team.
Okay.
That's like, I don't know how many people are in his team, that's why. And he sometimes consults outside. But this is a family business, so they are other family members designing too.
Now, Makina received international awards. Tell us what foreigners love about your watches and what makes your watches unique.
I think the originality has a lot to do with that. For example, some of our customers are doctors, and we created a pulsometer on one of our timepieces, or we started including them in there. I think the original uniqueness of it, it's not so common. I mean, it's really subjective, of course, but we like to think that it's pretty unique in its own way.
There's something that makes it stand out.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that includes the name of it, right? It's different.
Tell us, where do you source your materials, and what are the challenges in sourcing?
50% of the materials are actually manufactured here. 100% of the watch, the timepiece is assembled here. But
all Philippine made.
Right.
Okay.
But the movement is actually Swiss movements and Japanese movements. Sometimes it changes depending on what's needed with the custom pieces, but it's mostly Swiss and Japanese movements.
Let's go back to day one. What were the challenges that you encountered when you started the business?
Well, as with any business, new business, credibility and reputation, we don't have that. There's no recognition of Makina. So that's, we had people talk about us, which is why we had Esquire and Monochrome talk about us, so that I can talk about all our products, but no one will really know what that is, right? So if other people did, great. And because they did, when Esquire launched Makina 2 weeks to when we were ready, people were asking about it, and we had to fulfill those orders right away.
Yeah. How is the demand now for Makina watches? Because some Filipinos believe that Philippine-made watches should be made cheaper or priced cheaper. how do you then manage or negotiate pricing for your watches?
Well, pricing is strictly finance department and Danilo. But what I can say is that because it's limited quantities and very precise craftsmanship, you'll see the pricing on the website. So I can,
Yeah, you mentioned for bulk orders, custom-made watches should be in bulk, right?
minimum 100 pieces.
Yeah, minimum 100 pieces. Tell us about the challenges encountered with that sort of selling.
Again, it comes to what the client wants, what the customer wants. When they're commissioning, like for example, we actually have one coming up for San Miguel. That's something that I can talk about, not too much, just because that's kind of.
Is this for an anniversary or?
No, it's a loyalty program that he's got, that San Miguel has going.
Okay.
They're going to give it to employees that have been there for years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, back to your question, there is a minimum quantity, yes. So getting the parts, the challenge would be how fast we need to get it.
Okay, we're taking another short break, but don't go anywhere. When we return, we will discuss more about what's in store for Makina watches. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Pathways to Success. If you've just tuned in, this is part 2 of our feature on Philippine-made watches. Today we're looking at Makina watches, and here with us is Operations Manager Justin Castillo. Now Justin, let's talk about the future of Makina. What are the future plans?
Well, we still have 9 commissions this year to complete. And then we also have one coming up with San Miguel Company. They're going to award their employees that have been there for several years with a Makina watch.
So this is a token for,
yes,
or like a loyalty award.
Exactly. As far as the design of that goes, that's still in the works with Danilo and San Miguel, but it's looking promising.
What advice can you give to aspiring entrepreneurs out there who want to start their own brand?
Don't think of profits. Think of the product and the art of it. Then the profits will come afterwards. It's like if you really put the time and effort in what you're making, crafting, then people will talk about it if it's really a good product.
Well, how do you make the brand sustainable then?
Social media has been a great part of this. Showing up close the photos and the quality of it, and the speed of which we can get timepieces to the customer, whether it's single or bulk order. Speed does come into play here. Being able to manufacture the watch, put it together, and then deliver it. That's, if it takes too long, then people might not want it.
Okay, more power to Makina. Thank you, Justin, for joining us this morning and sharing Makina's inspiring journey.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, more than just timepieces, of course, Makina also honors artistry and boosts Filipino identity. That's our episode today. To all the entrepreneurs out there, the clock is ticking. Make every minute valuable and always make time for learning. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Tune in tomorrow for another episode of Pathways to Success, only here on on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel.
Thank you.